checking out custom key settings on the Sony A7R today, which would be the same as the A7. So if you look here, we're in the gear. We're looking at custom key settings. So setup 6 or gear 6 is where we're at. Custom key settings. I'm going to go ahead and jump into this one. And most of these I've kept for my own personal use where they came. We'll just look here. Control wheel. If you spin the back wheel, that's this wheel right here. That's set to ISO. Of course, you can change that to one of these. ISO seems to make the most sense for me. Auto exposure lock button. That's this little button right here when it's on the AEL mode. Okay. You can do these other options. Okay. Auto exposure lock hold or toggle. Okay. Mine's on hold. This is the same button, but when the switch is switched the other way, and I like it toggle. Somebody asked me recently, is there a back focus button? AF on. Okay. There's quite a few options here you can use for this button. Ton of them. So we'll check that out. A lot of them. But I'm using, there it is, autofocus, manual focus, control toggle. That lets me turn on or off manual focus. Just hit the button and it stays there. Alright, custom button 1. That's this button up here on the top. Right next to this shutter release button. I use this so I can set my focus settings. I don't need exposure comp. I have that here. So let's have a look what that does. If I hit that, you can see down here, shows you what the wheels do. I can move my focus point up or down by spinning the dial. Back dial moves it side to side, front dial up and down. You can also use your 4-way controller on the back here. Okay? So that's the top custom focus button, because I use that focus point quite a bit. So let's jump back in. Custom button 2, that's right here. Next to the viewfinder on the right side is also the magnifying glass. Drive mode, flash comp, focus mode. Let's see what focus mode does here. So this lets you change from AFS to AFC if you did that. Jump back in there. Focus area, focus settings, exposure comp. Metering mode might be nice there. I don't really use the flash push because I'm not using a Sony brand flash. But you can see, you can set up a lot of things here. Okay, send to smartphone, custom button 3. This one, this little trash can one, I believe was set without anything turned on by default. Okay, but I use the send to smartphone because I use that feature all the time and I don't want to have to come find the menu for it. So when I'm in here, I just hit the button. I say, okay, I want to send images to my phone. And I can flip through. Here's some nice pictures of my shoe. You hit the center button, you get a checkbox right here. It says I want to send that one, I want to send this one, and so on. Send it to your phone. The center button is mark, menu is enter, and you would hit execute and send it to your phone. So I use that quite a bit. Let's go to page 2. Center button, IAF. If you have face detection turned on and you hit the center button while you're focusing, it'll find an eye to focus on. Left button, that's pushing this button, drive button to the left. That's how I have drive mode. Right button, I have my white balance, which is what it says here. And I change this down button to be my monitor brightness. Now let's jump back and I'll show you these. Okay? So if I hit left button, I can switch from bracketing to timer and my different focus or different shooting modes. Right? My right button, I can set my white balance right there. Now let me show you one trick. If you push right again, you can get out of the way. Can you see that grid of color? You can push where the default white balance is anywhere on this grid. If I want it to shoot more green, shoot more blue, more magenta, oftentimes I like it a little, just a touch warmer than the camera thinks. So I put it one square up here towards the yellow. So that's just pushing your white balance and pushing it again. You can do that with almost all of these if you want to kind of customize your white balance setting a little bit. It's close, but you can customize it there. Then I have down set to monitor brightness. Now I can't use it right now because I'm hooked up to this screen. So here in just a second we'll give that a try. And then of course you got the function button, which pulls up your quick menu of everything, and you can actually change these. Maybe we'll do that in a different video, but just so you know, that's function menu set. You can pick actually where everything is in this screen right here, which is pretty nice. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug this and I'll show you the monitor brightness setting. See if we can zoom in here a little bit. So now if I hit down, it goes straight to this monitor brightness where you can jump this screen to sunny weather. I like sunny weather outside. It's too contrasty to really tell what's going on, but you know, it's important to see. So I find that extremely handy. Push down on that. So that gives you a lot of these controls right here where you can get at them without actually having to go to a menu, which is one of the reasons I love this camera. It's very customizable.